So, dear students, we have completed already your capillary viscometer, that is Ostwald viscometer. In the last class, I told you. With this, today we will discuss about your Hurling sphere viscometer. So, in this Hurling sphere viscometer, generally it is a same principle which we have applied in the capillary viscometer. That means how a steel ball or glass ball will fall in a sample tube from a point A to point B. So this is similar type your capillary viscometers. So with this, let us discuss about what is the principle behind this Hurling sphere viscometer. So with this, we can see here, this is the diagram of Hurling sphere viscometer. With this, what I told, there is a sample tube in the middle and it is covered by a constant temperature jacket. In both sides you can see this one and this one. It is a constant temperature jacket. That means it will regulate the temperature. It will maintain the temperature of the sample. And sample we have to place in the middle of the glass tube. And we have to place, there is 2 points A and B. And we have to place here in the middle your one ball. That is maybe made up of steel or glass, so that required to fall from the point A to B. And when it will fall from that point A to B, the time taken to fall you have to calculate. So for that, it is also simple type of viscometer, and it is a similar type like your Hepler viscometer. It is also called as Hepler viscometer. So it is, there is an equation by which we are calculating the viscosity, that is your eta 1 is equal to T into SB minus S and into B. So eta here is your, we can tell viscosity of the unknown sample, T the time interval in seconds for the ball to fall between the 2 points, point A and point B, and SB and SF, it is the specific gravities of ball and specific gravities of the field under examination. That means specific gravity of this ball that we are using and the field we are using, specific gravity of that. So this, and B is the constant for the particular instrument. For the B will be remain constant, and by using this equation we can calculate this viscosity of a liquid. So this is useful for the Newtonian liquids which are having giving a constant viscosity. And once again I am telling the principle, that there is a sample tube in the middle and it is covered by a constant temperature jacket which provisioned to flow continuously with running water. See here, water is flowing continuously, so that temperature will be maintained, and there will be 2 points, point A and B, from which the ball need to fall. The ball we are using to test, that is made up of glass or steel, that is provisioned to fall from the point A to B, and we need to find out what is the time taken by the ball to fall from the point A to point B. So this is the general principle of this Hurling sphere viscometer. Now coming to what I told, for non-Newtonian flows we need a specific type of viscometer. By using simple viscometer we cannot calculate. So that's why 2 types of viscometers we are using. Multi-point viscometer, that is also called as multi-point viscometer. So these are cup and bob viscometer and cone and plate viscometer. So let us discuss about cup and bob viscometer. So in this cup and bob viscometer, also called as rotational viscometer, because it is rotating continuously. So this rotational viscometer, it is provisioned either the cup will rotate or bob will rotate. So let us see what is the principle behind this principle and working. So here is a tube, we can tell it is a sample tube, and here it is a sample we are placing here in the middle, and there is a that is called as cup, where we are placing the sample is known as your stationary cup. And in the middle you can see this is a rotational bob. Rotational bob, that means the bob will rotate continuously inside this cup, stationary cup, and the sample will be kept in between the bob and the cup. So when and then the torque set and drive shaft which will rotate, which will control the speed, and also the torque set where we are getting the viscosity. Generally in the rotational viscometer we are finding the torque, the resistance we are getting, the torque we need to find out. From that only we need to calculate the viscosity. So let us see what is the principle behind this, how it is working. Here we are placing the stationary cup in the middle, rotational bob, and we have to set the RPM, rotation per minute, and it will rotate continuously, and sample also will rotate. So it is the resistance, the torque it will produce, that we have to record. We have to record that torque it is produced. So for that calculation we are using one equation, that is eta is equal to kV into W by V. K means here we can tell it is a constant for the instrument. Kv means is a constant for this instrument. Eta means apparent viscosity of the liquid, and V means shear rate or RPM. Shear rate, rate of shear, or RPM. W means weight placed in the hanger or shearing stress. How much weight we are placing through this rotating ball? What is the weight? That weight we are telling as shearing stress, and the rate of shear will be produced in the RPM. So by using this the torque will produce, and we have to record. Then we have to find out the viscosity of the liquid. So it is now let us discuss about the third one. This is also one type of rotational viscometer, cone and plate viscometer. So this cone and plate viscometer, generally you can see the same principle here in the both, but the type of instrument is different. So here we are using a stationary plate and a rotational cone. That means this is known as your plate, stationary plate, which will remain constant, which will not rotate. But in this previous case, both can be rotated. Here we can place the cup as stationary and bob will rotate, or either we can keep bob as stationary, cup will rotate. Both provision can be possible in this instrument. But here in the cone and plate viscometer, the plate will be stationary, and above that we have to place one rotating cone, and we have to control the RPM, it will rotate continuously, and the sample we have to place on the stationary plate under this rotating cone, So from that also we need to find out the torque. So by using this one we can easily find out viscosity at different times, because we can control the RPM, we can change the shearing stress and rate of shear. So we can see what is the viscosity in different times. So for that we are using one equation, eta is equal to C into T divided by V. So here C means it is an instrument constant, T means it's a torque reading, and V means it is the speed of cone. V means the speed of cone. So eta means already we know it is your viscosity. So by using this equation we can calculate viscosity of liquids at different times. So for that particular for the suppose example, for the plastic flow, the equation will be different. I am writing for the plastic flow, the equation will be U is equal to CF into T minus TF divided by V. It is for the plastic flow or plastic viscosity. So what are these? Already I told you, U means it is your plastic viscosity. CF means it is a constant term, instrument constant. TF means torque at the shearing stress axis. C and your V means RPM. So by using this we can calculate the plastic viscosity from this instrument, cone and plate viscometer. So this is all about your instruments we are using to determine viscosity of different liquids. Either it may be your Newtonian or non-Newtonian liquids. We can find out viscosity by using these instruments. So this is all about this topic. In the next class we will discuss about solid deformation. Thank you.